Hey y'all, I am so excited because this morning a package was delivered. It is my brand new tarot deck. This is the Bonfire Tarot. And before I do a reading out of this deck, I kind of want to do a review for y'all. So first of all, the artwork on this deck is what called to me. It's very busy, very maximalist, like me. And you can definitely tell that the art was made on a canvas. You can see sort of like the canvas pattern in the artwork, which I love because I've long sort of like dreamed of making my own tarot deck. And as y'all all know, I paint. So yeah, all right, so let's open it up. Okay, we've got fire on the inside. Ooh, I love the book. Okay. Let's see. So one thing I can definitely say usually, woo! Okay, so we love when a tarot deck has a very thick book because that means there's a lot of information in here. And if you're like a beginner tarot reader, this is, having a good book like this is everything. All right, I'm just going to read one for an example. I just happened to open to the page that's the Wheel of Fortune, and I really love the artwork on this card. So we're going to look through some of these cards together. I'm going to find this one. A change of fortune is ensured. The constant cycle of life. Never expect stasis. Roll with the punches. Remain centered and observe ups and downs of life. Let problems wash over you. Are you stuck in a cycle that does not serve you? Time to make a change. So here is a wunderbar opportunity to get a little nautical influence into Bonfire. It is, after all, stylistically based on the old school tattoos of Sailor Jerry Collins. What better than a ship's wooden wheel to steer our attention to a card I like to carry as something of a talisman? Okay, so the person who created this deck definitely likes to carry the Wheel of Fortune with them. I like that little bit of insight because we don't get that in most decks, if I'm being honest. This is cool. I'm digging it so far. My initial thoughts on the Wheel of Fortune were concerned with luck of the spin. In the superstitious sense, like if we cross our fingers, we increase our good luck. This notion had rather more to do with the American game show than the tarot meaning of the card. Okay. Oh yes, Wheel of Fortune. Got it. Okay, well, the cool thing about tarot is that whatever we sort of associate with that, because we're the one interpreting the cards and the readings, whatever we sort of associate with that, also the picture on the deck, everything like that, can all be interpreted into the card. When you're working intuitively, it doesn't have to just be the textbook meaning of what that card symbolizes, because it is all symbols and it's all open to interpretation. And therefore it's important to have like a base knowledge of what it means. But if it means something else, something extra to you, that is a valid interpretation as well. I've got to find this card for y'all so you can see what they're talking about. Wow. Like just Two of Wands, okay? Three of Wands. These are incredible. Nine of Swords. King of Swords. I am loving this deck so far. Ooh, the Three of Cups. Beautiful. Oh my God, the Five of Cups. These are incredible, really. The Two of Coins. Wow. The Six of Coins. These are inspiring me to want to start painting some tarot cards, okay? Queen of Coins. All right, I don't think we've gotten to the major arcana yet. Okay, here we go. The Fool. The Magician. High Priestess. Empress. Emperor. These are really great. The Lovers. I'm skipping around here a bit. There's one I take with me as a talisman. The Chariot. Strength. Oh gosh, I love the Hermit. Look at the card. It's so... wow. Okay. here we go. Here we go. This deck is great so far. Also, I like the size of the cards because a lot of times tarot cards can be really tall. I feel like these are going to make it easier to shuffle, but they don't lose so much size. They're shorter, but they don't lose so much size and width or anything that you still get a really great piece of artwork on it. But this is the Wheel of Fortune. The woman is at both the ship's helm and something of a figurehead made flesh. Her eyes are blindfolded by her banner. She leads the way, yet sees not where she goes. As her passengers, we are the blind being led by the blind. Thus, we could really do with some good old-fashioned luck on our side. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. We have struck out on this voyage with visions of riches to be discovered, and we cross our fingers that disaster does not befall us before we have achieved our ambitions. Should we succeed, it will not be due to the sound of planning or solid navigation, for there has been none. More likely, external forces will have worked in our favor. We will require a prevailing wind, calm waters, a good supply of oranges to ward off scurvy, and the promise of rich rewards. The question of blind faith compared to false hope arises here. When does one turn into the other? The wheel deals with these closely linked concepts, and this is a very in-depth analysis of what they view the Wheel of Fortune to be and what it is specifically for this deck. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it actually goes on. Wow, it goes on quite a ways. One thing I will say that I'm noticing right away is that there is no reverse meaning in these cards. That doesn't mean you can't read them in reverse, obviously, but without reverse meanings. And because this card set, this deck particularly, is so written in a way, it even says here, like bonfire says. So it's the bonfire interpretation. So for these cards, I have one other deck that basically has communicated with me that, hey, we don't do reverse cards in this deck. Even though I generally tend to read reverse cards, that deck just basically told me no. And so I think working with this deck, because there are no reverse meanings and because these meanings are so like Gabi Angus-West, their sort of energy and interpretation of the card is very much written into this book. So we may only do right side up on this deck. Let's give them a shuffle. Oh, these are not going to be as... Okay, they really don't bend. So they're not going to be as easy for me to shuffle as I thought. I think I'm going to have to do this other sort of shuffling I've been working on, which is not. These would be great for this kind of shuffle though, because they're like sort of hand size. Honestly, I find these a little bit easier to deal with. Also, I think if you're just trying to get cards that pop out, because of the texture of these cards, they're very smooth. I think that you would definitely get that. Okay. Nice. So first impression of shuffling. If you do a casino style shuffle, like I tend to do, you're probably going to need to half the deck at first, unless you've got really big hands or good skills. Having not read from this deck, I really, really like it. I'll have to do some reads with it and see how it resonates with me and my style of reading. But so far, big fan. I'm going to say, I don't want to be too generous. I'm going to say 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I don't like that they're not more easily shuffleable. And that's the only thing that's bringing me off. Oh, 7 of Cups. Just what? So this is my review of the Bonfire Tarot. Wow. So cool. They're so cool. Like, what's not to love? These are really freaking cool cards. All right. Thanks for joining me, y'all. And I'm going to do a read with these cards next because I'm ready to get in there, you know?